is an illusion, and scientists claim our atoms never touch. Our lives are ruled by violent fantasies of measurement, duration, and proximity. Change, invasive as a creeping vine, tentacles from my heart, a crushed bee dying in the tread of my platform boot. Who knew everything I ever wanted would hurt so much? Our travails engorged periodically in recent years, phased through variations, repeatedly menacing best intentions, swam around a dreggy estuary, gulping brackish satious, thinking I exist briefly, then won't, them's the breaks. It would be a mistake to intellectualize the details. The future used to be implacable. Now it's merely what I've got left. Leave it, more at peace with the universe than a Marymount freshman tripping in Central Park. The end times never end. Harm feels like continuity, feeling itself an aureate metaphor, decades paragraph. The sun kills as it enlightens, one day will cease. That's not important to me. Mine's the same message as the crowing cock. I'm alive, I'm alive, I'm alive. A secret calendar dangerously unfurls, empty buildings stare into the livid eve. These bright, imaginary homes. I trust my instincts, but my instincts are shit. My heart is aflame with my will. Configuration does nothing for us. You're about to call it off, expiring pics. 2-point authentication, tightening the purse, might get worse. Burning libraries, signaling the cyclical powers. Communication saves a mystery for last if you'd allow the dispensation of early yet valedictory appraisal. My friends, fear the straight world. Attack injustice with the obstinacy of poets, carefully adjust. Life's full of compromises, calculations, shots in the dark. Don't kill your darlings, take out the landlords first. Dust is evidence of dislocation, transfiguration, the falling apart that makes up the hours. Speculation implicates another state of desire. Trash the bastion, the stars are traces, a leaking door. Next year is already here, and the one after that. A dream of being in the same room together, holding our breath, never touching, but granting the time to listen to each other's wishes. Claim more, gobble it up. Produce waste to fertilize the ground. Thank you. This next piece is called Poison the Well. Frivolous bubbles, plump with white faces, streaking into infamy. Its disconcerting premonition of drowning in the shallows. History mocking us as we go along. Sunless throats govern the outcomes. How to do good in a frangible world, or to be good, or is it to see good, or to give one over on whomsoever you may when our dreams are hung out to dry again? Buy or behave. The way things exchanged weren't finalized in favor of the general. Maybe it rained hard in your borough and the basement flooded downhill like last Tuesday. I moved in place, always afraid, constant crisis mode, a pet's breathing or untold meaning before the outburst of anticipated unpleasantness. How it used to be versus the reformed version. Vermin crawling out of drain pipes, steaming gutters preoccupied with lies, slightly ingenuous. One wonders what there is left to be shown. When you can't get rid of certain conditions, when you want to razzle but run out of juice. Let us out, the zoo's overloaded. Let us out, the population's exploded. We're out of time and out of luck. We wish that you would give a fuck that we're stuck, yet you laugh when quarters get cut in half. Lions lying down with lambs wasn't in the original plans, but when push comes to shove, those below feed those above. Shout, you're smearing my snout, heck, you're gnarling my neck, whine, you're whipping my spine, rar, you're wrecking my claw, ack, you're crutching my crack, wail, you're traipsing my tail. Animals belong in spacious places, let us out, cages are disgraces. Interactions with strangers grow defensive based on bad memories mixed with unreasonable fears. Thought in good faith, got it wrong. Couldn't negotiate acceptable terms. Rooms losing the light, eyes glued to screens covering most of the building. Deep thunder in the near distance, repeated following tense interval. Something giant approaching the skyline. Now the sound of low-flying planes and your little brother's nervous laughter. I'd risk my life for a taste of cinnamon. Uplifting conditions of heroic nudity, nothing to lose but your health insurance. Bro in a Keith Haring t-shirt called me a fag. Just kept walking into oncoming traffic. Ere you don a shaft of woe and scar. Life is cheap and death is easy. Powerless, breathlessness overwhelming. I grew unstoppable, unkillable, unbelievable. Nobody would hire me, so I starved. We keep our curtains open because we can't afford to miss the view. Kid on the train studying a photo of Nixon shaking hands with Mao. Your haircut grew out poorly. You said you'd stop after one drink. Utah man arrested for plot to kill wife. Feeling myself today, dispassionately withering, like poets at a sadness convention, or those who've been told again, help is on the way. Help! I need somebody to fix me. You heard me, I'm broken and must be redeemed by love. I'm waiting. In the meantime, I remember all my friends who died of suicide, cancer, overdose. They can't return. I'm turning unreturnable. A resinous aura encircling common tasks distracts detrimental impulsivities akin to quickness in this country, forever thought of as a favor when it was nothing but what was rightly theirs. If I knew more, I would say less. There's not much else to confess. Married too soon, divorced undercover, take out the dog, take on a lover, barring gabbers began noticing word for word plagiarized from a blog. Delighted in a fog, selling your soul for soup, rushes to places, sans boudoir. What's the frequency, Kenneth? You know, that song by Metallica? Dad did the dishes ungloved and his ring dropped down the disposal. We were selected for a paid study, but they can't tell us anything about it until we sign a non-disclosure agreement. After deleting multiple text messages, she surrendered her phone to the police. The government is just a burping stomach digesting us in its acids. Nobody gives ya a medal for moaning about your feelings, but much more is owed than acknowledged. Men stand in line to pray in the corner. Better hand over thy wilting crown. This town's painful passé, and I know I'm the problem. Pretending otherwise, riches pierce the sky, parkside, needles on the tracks, underground society. I thought I saw Bjork on Bond Street before walking into a cloud of ood. You must do what I wish anyhow. Such is the influence of poets today. Say aloud, full communism now. Reading this makes you gay. Brunch at a black-owned restaurant, red wine and poppers in the afternoon, sunlight making the curtains glow. In your apartment's bedroom, this is what you want, lube the hole, spanking hairy ass, brazenly flaunt happy accidents, licking armpits, denouement of monthly coverage, legs splayed, delayed, relay, replayed, no refunds, look where you are, hun. Boy mules, daddy, get me pregnant. You're pushing the metaphor, but sure, I'll crush your bones to dust. Ballooning rates scared off neophytes. We were utter foes until sitting down and hashing it out over omakase. Now that's not me and could never be. I will decree I am misled easily. Eager witch proffers a supple apple, afflicted donkey neighs a warning. The potable water tastes foul now, something evil crawled out of the well, trapped among us, escaped from hell, a trail of sulphurous sludge lingering. Quaint townsfolk point fingers, priests sermonize retribution, our judge is parched. Forbidden oaths whispered in flickering night, sullen suns preparing to fight, the living are getting off light. The woods beckoning weaklings, wash your hands in the kitchen sink, no surprise if firstborns go missing. Let us out! Gents flock to a certain hotel, overrun with inverts, the lobby lousy with rough trade, prattling, cleaning their nails. There's a curfew in Paris. Let us out, a man chained to a bed, screaming, let me out! Oh Christ, where's the boss gonna find more rope this time of night? I beat him until my hands were covered in blood, kind of boys who look like other boys, better boys from times unrecaptured. Bombs falling across the left bank, a scene like Sodom and Gomorrah. Brimstone rains from churning skies. Men seek each other in abandonment. The old lech must be thrashed hard by murderers, nearly slain to get his kicks. Proust could only climax when watching rats fight each other to death in a cage. When the bell is out of reach and the servants are asleep, desperation creeps empty my alarmingly charming arms. He handed me a tome, The book plate read, "I belong to the Baron de Charlus." Yes, I do, and so do you. I threw the book in the furnace. Sit on the Louis XIV armchair or consign it to the generations who grew out of wartime like serpents. Enough blame to go around, monsieur. Lashes thrown in fleshy, ironic delicacy. He could never get over that bussy, Charlie. He handed me the deed like a cup of tea. He ran home by the light of the city on fire. So I think I have yes, I have two more. This one's called Living with Madness. And as the title might indicate, general content warning for mental health issues. 1. We're all mad here, but some are worse than others. Life's hard, it's off-putting, my brains are pudding. Don't know why I spend so much time shooting and throwing things away like, get this shit out of here. It just goes somewhere else. As my affections and affectations, exaltations, trying to cope with centuries of violence, mistakes were made repeatedly. But it's in that we gain semblances of temerity. A galaxy of regrets are slushing out of my eyes like zombie teardrops. Failing that, we graduated until proven. Later, rethinking the approach, delivering self-talk directed at a differential diagnosis and a void sought we suffered. Restlessly supine, wild and short-circuited in the emergency room, boys descending a dusty stairwell spilled into the wild, eliminating sun. Study of thumb, masticated, desiccated, consecrating theories where roam fallacious motivations. Packers, never take the seller's word, nebulized work. You are what you become, barely listening, trusting an uncertain jejune memory of hope when it must out. To the ghost in my house, I insist, this is a choice you are making. Transference is cocking a snook in public, edified by the margin, disappearing ink, half right in the dim light, attacked by butterflies, a hostess resenting painful consequence, guy who got lucky meeting his sponsors, some of whom don't see a future in humans, recounting the solecism that landed us here in the first place, a flame, regurgitated hilltops. When is a tree best measured? Who's to say? 2. Part 2 of the same poem. Living with madness is a kind of bliss, enough resolve to give you a kiss. The flip side of this is a horrific tour. In the rain, the lights diffused, used views, refused cues, the jewels fools are the real ruses, rules, suspended pending an investigation by the board of directors, you know the type, money bags. Gang adrift in a storm of their own choosing, loose mouth kinda wavering without making disagreeable modulations, miserable nation that has a crush on us. Where did we think this was going? Yes, society crumbles, its shocking inevitability makes it hard to concentrate, casually seeking soft help, it's cheering, carefully building a home to burn down. Perhaps the twinks shall be forgiven. Fled those insecure conquerors, salty aftertaste of cum on my tongue, following a back alley blowjob, guy wouldn't look me in the eye, stomping across for the heck of it. So what? I'm angry. You make me furious. I can't stand the thought of you anymore. The dream is dead. The goose is cooked. We fucked. We fucking fucked it up. Rumor has it officials named it a sacrifice zone. In suppressed reports later unsealed by a judicial warrant. Cancer danced like vaporous red light on the hilltops. Sometimes there's bumps, he says. 3. Evict this. Sound of gunshot. Sound of wounded homeowner. What plans have you with that land when you're dead? You can't take it with you. Might as well put it right back where you found it. Their problem solved. It's evident to me as an adult that when I slit my wrists as a child, I didn't cut deep enough. I think about killing myself every day, and I put it in a poem because if I told my therapist, I get sent to the hospital, but I'm out of paid time off. Yuck, boring. Living with madness is violence and love. Like most things, complex and dualistic. When the madman leaves, the madness remains. The madness is you and in love with you. Madness clings to clothes like cigarette smoke. It rambles and lists, telling stories to the gusts. Bleeding low, smiling hilltops, crowd forms round said fight. The last piece I'm going to read is called, I'm going to close with a shorter piece called Down for Anything. The classified read "Down for Nothing," and the alacrity with which we imploded was impressive, to be studied in the moment but also centuries hence, and it makes no sense, the secret being it never did, never was, anything other than the totality of ataxia. Atomically renounced, it arrived unannounced in an antique and begged to be taken seriously. We severed the connection, but it regrew. I can't do anything better than you, I tried. He told me he wanted a habit, and he meant clothes. I spent years unlearning invisible ideologies, maybe repudiate is more suitable, who took the shape of caring, but was an emblem of hubris, who would not leave the front line, didn't want it, because nobody digs their own grave these days. Halfway through the apocalypse, we forgot all about it. Let's not get all both sides here, okay? Depraved difference and cliffside purlieus talking up the past. When I was born, first they mutilated my genitals, then a pair of strangers relieved me of my birth giver and put the name of their god on me like a racehorse in the sun. My life is beyond me now, but I remind myself of the virtues of strolling, packed with song. I could not get along in the provinces, I assure you. There's more than one way to skin a cat, but if you catch your friends skinning cats, turn them in. The surest way to get somebody to do something for you is to pay them. I revel in the failed podcasts of my enemies. He's versatile, discreet, and bi. The point where mental and physical anguish become indistinguishable. The thought that anything goes if I'm horny enough for democracy. I use subway bathrooms way more these days. They seem sanitized and carceral, utilitarian, relatively easy to clean with bleach and a mop. Although I guess I'm glad that's not my job. No matchsticks, skating in the urinals, the mayor keeps cutting funding for libraries. The flavorless aesthetics of privatization, maybe I'm wrong and there's a solution, demands for solidarity met with middling response, meetings devolve into procedural debates as a man freezes to death overnight near my house. And maybe I'm an asshole, certainly stubborn. I spent a year meticulously rehabilitating my credit score and then I fucking tanked it again. I knocked over a vase on the White House tour. In the future, I die for nothing, the grossest request leveled at the august representative. In any way, I wasn't even present at the interaction that led to the comment and question and reaction. I have no recollection of that. No, I have no recollection of that. I don't remember that. I'm not sure I would have ever said anything like that. I said it. I remember saying it, but I don't remember why. I have no recollection of the context of that. I'm uncertain about that. I don't exactly know. I have no memory of it. I know intent versus impact. No, I mean, I agree. I know what you're trying to say. I'm not trying to put words in your mouth, but what I'm trying to say is that I have no memory of that whatsoever. So what am I supposed to say about something of which I have no recollection, you know? Well, you don't have to put it like that. You don't have to go there. I didn't go there. I was just trying to catch a break myself, and then suddenly nothing worked out, and my love dissolved in the crowd like a pearl in a glass of wine. Dance of the oligarchs in the moonlit meadow. Something tells me that we've been this way before. Suspicious few survived to tell the tale, but those remaining were down for anything. Thank you.
Please tell us when the one-man show takes place. That was amazing. I love, first of all, even though I felt like, oh my gosh, is he reading fast? But at the same time, no, because it goes with this energy that you are creating. I love your narratives. These were really beautiful pieces. Thank you so much, and they were so diverse. So thank you for being here and for sharing.
Thank you.
So next up is Jane. Hello. Jane LeCroy is a New York City-based poet, singer, performance artist, and home-birthing mother of three who fronts the avant-pop band The Icebergs and the spontaneous experimental music project HM Slice. She has toured with the San Francisco-based all-women's poetry troupe Sister Spit. She also performs as a featured character in the immersive theater experience Poetry Brothel NYC. Among her many publications and recordings, her chapbook, Names, was published by the Art Book House, Brooklyn, in the award-winning ABC chapbook series that was purchased by the Library of Congress, along with her braid. Interesting. Three Rooms Press published signature play, a multimedia book of lyrical poems, including a nomination for a Pushcart Prize. Pink Trees Press published a full-length poetry collection, Spellbook of Ordinary Mistakes, in 2024. The Smithsonian has many of her poems included in their Fast Folk archive, all available through Smithsonian.
Sorry,
works.
it's so boring. God.
And Jane's right here. And she'll continue. I love her dress. I was trying to like have summer and winter in one.
Leah's so beautiful.
Yeah, my bio makes me sound so awesome. Ha. No, seriously, we're each so awesome. We're humans of New York. I mean, doesn't that inspire you, that feed? Do you know what I'm talking about, the Humans of New York feed? Every single one of us. God, it's really insane. I am grateful to be here. I am grateful for the attention my work gets, for opportunities to perform, for opportunities to be published. Thanks, Linda. I do have a book coming out, like any day now. And yeah, thank you. Gosh, books. Here we are in a bookstore. Who knows how long books are going to be around, since like the whole world is becoming, you know, software and stuff. I'm guilty too. Listen. Find yourself at the edge of your nightmares and longings, by the torn map of your soul, rubbed illegible in the places you found yourself, but never imagined you'd be. How hard you studied the map at those moments, trying to discern some topography to navigate your way through. You looked so hard, your eyes bored holes in the paper. Your fingers wore away the map where you traced so many times, trying to find your way, practicing in your mind. You stand at the edge of the unknown ocean that is the future. The sand you stand upon is the remnants of your days, ground up memories that make a shifting surface that sucks you in. Keep stepping, move onward, so you do not sink in the past. Don't believe everything you think. The sun and moon enact their predictable loops. You feel as if you are still, but you loop too. Speeding through space, stung and wounded by your profound losses, but propelled by a gnawing hunger that is the claw of desire that climbs the rungs of light, that construct your landscape like a careless painter who happens to be making the world of which you are a part, but that you can never get the big picture enough to organize into something to understand. You can make out one thing though. You can make out one thing. You came to love and be loved. You came to love and be loved. You came to love and be loved. And the map with its smudges and stains that is your soul, that's the ink of your mistakes and triumphs. Interlocking lines that cannot be untangled because the scribble is everything. All is dependent on it. Nothing is wasted. Nothing is unimportant. Nothing is extra. Nothing is as certain as your existence among and through it. Raveling, unraveling, repeat. You came to love and be loved. You came to love and be loved. You really did. really the pain, it means nothing, like without the pleasure, like it's dependent on all of it, the interlocking lines.
I'm getting hot. My heart's on fire! And my cufflinks are too tight. And I'm sweating. And I'm nervous. And I'm human. See, look. What the hell? It's performance art, my darlings. No, it really is. I have gigantic hands. They're not good for fist fucking, but they're great for a lot of other things.
Facts. TMI. I hope so. I gotta keep you paying attention. You know, it's February, it's cold. We just had Valentine's Day. I hope it was a good one. Okay. This is in your style, okay? For you. Fly me far away. I said to the streets that shuffled me along their cobbles like a strange wheel bumping, rolling a good time on a dark, cold night alone because I never thought it would be so hard to get regular hot sex when I was a healthy girl with a warm smile who was good at listening to problems, dumb jokes, and the same stories over and over without complaining. But it turns out, big hunger gets you hungrier. And I broke a lot of hearts and dicks and drained the chi. So I begged the streets to put me in the sky and fly me far away. But the streets laughed and said that I was far out enough, so I should just stay in this famous city where I know the hosts of the artsy parties and get fancy invitations to the birthdays and shows where I get to be practically naked and never apologize for my loud voice and sharp tongue that scares a lot of the horses, and then they gallop away. But I can just jump on the big animal and we'll get to the green of the Kentucky Derby where they'll all appreciate my hat and my style. So gamble away on the horses with the best names, because a good life is just a poem you write with good words and a good order, and whatever is good, you get to define for yourself. Don't look at their dictionaries. Their dictionaries are their own, and you never get to be fluent in anyone else's tongue unless you are deeply kissing them, and only then for those few moments, because even the longest kisses are still not so long as the poems about kisses. Those get to last forever. The kiss never lasts forever, but the poem does. Art is the longest action you can take. Poems are like the cobbles that bring a horse to you, and you get to the place where you can gamble based on the names. And there you have the religion of the people in America that are all mixed up and stirring the world and breaking the hearts and the dicks and dreaming the chi and draining the chi. And you can never get far enough away so that it stops hurting. But you get the poems and make the books if you're lucky. Thank goodness for the copy machine and staples. Gallop those spines, make it to the gutter, and get your poetry out there.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you. Gosh, the older you get, the more you become like a teenager that's full of angst. Am I right? It is hard. I don't want to wake up in the morning and go do that dumb shit again. You loop too, motherfucker. All right, this is to cheer you guys up. Okay, first I'm going to show you a trick I know.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow. Yeah. That's beautiful.
Okay.
That brings me to how to do a split. Yeah, I know, right? Oh my God, I start doing underwear and things sexy with my glasses on. It is totally right. Okay. Now I'm gonna teach you guys how to do a split, okay? Are you ready? How to do a split. Improvement is silly hierarchical thinking that disrupts the value of each incarnation of the gift of navigating reality. Every pose along the way is perfect too. Maybe it's not what you wanted or what you imagined, but its value is there despite our feelings about the pose. Different times in our lives give us access to different capabilities, different choices will resonate. It's not improvement, there's differentiation. Like how evolution is not progress, it's adaptation, which is very different than improvement. Improvements are feelings we have toward things. Feelings. Things just are. And we play among the things, all our pretty little ugly games, from war to farming, from beekeeping to breeding dogs, drawing our pictures and writing our poems, feeling they are terrible or fantastic. All those things are all absolutely horrific and wonderful. The paradoxes keep tumbling down. You just split. And don't compare it to other splits. It's this split today. Embrace all the types of splits. Stop calling this one bad and that one good. Allow for depth and complexity. The black and white thinking is just one example of how to do a split. See them all together. Integral aspects of a complex whole. Embrace it all. Embrace me. Let's put it together. Practice with me. Don't give up. Each incarnation of each day. If you can imagine something, you are already doing it. You are so powerful with your awesome imagination. It's always doing splits. Thanks. Seriously, thanks for letting me tell you what's on my mind. And I love hearing what's on your minds, because the loops of the planets and the stars and us. Oh my God, do we have to do it again? Wake up, it seems impossible, yet here I am every day doing it.
What's the alternative?
This is what's the alternative? What, you know what, the magic is, we don't know. I mean, death is the big mystery. Like, we know we die, but like, nothing else we're not gonna disappear. There's no examples of absolute disappearance. So like, that's not gonna happen. Like, what is it? Who knows? We're already dead. You know. I know, this is it. This is my book that's coming out in a few days. This is like the special copy where we're looking at all the things that are like, yeah, exactly, the proof. There's a book. And Linda Kleinbub here from Patriots Press gave me lots of attention and love to make this book happen. Chris knows how hard it is to make a book. It is no easy feat. He's trying to make one right now too. And lots of you have books, so. This is the spell book of ordinary mistakes. That's the name of it because, you know, my life. Oh yeah, actually that would be a good one to read. The possible titles of an autobiography. Okay, this is possible titles for my autobiography. Mysterious punishments. The life and times I fucked up. Impossible solutions. The way to live on salsa, chips, cheese, and apples. Not who you think you are. Consequences of tragic superpowers. How to break your face. Looking under rocks. Repeat defeat. The disease that is being human. I came to fail. Unmarketable. Spellbook of ordinary mistakes. Feral child through the years. Can't help it. Hating is caring. No great expectations. Not feeling better yet. Side effects of the grand equivocator. Pendulum of the pain plane. I can't believe I didn't die. Loving outside the lines. How to rent rooms by the hour. No regrets, not sorry.
Show the cover, baby. Show that cover.
I know, isn't it? It's really exciting. It's like surreal. You have to like look close at it. I don't know if any of you recognize the bridge on the cover. I mean, like, you can tell it's a bridge, but it's like, you'll know what bridge it is. It's the old Tappan Zee Bridge that's gone now. The Tappan Zee Bridge is very important to me because I grew up in Nyack and looked at the Tappan Zee my whole life, and they took it down a couple of years ago and replaced it, and it's like devastating to have architecture replaced like that. I mean, like, to have such a big thing changed is really rocks your world. This is wonderful, and it's true. These are all true stories. My brother found the carcass under the pantry. We studied the dead, crouched on haunches, ears like paper flattened to the skull, wrinkles petrified on the stretched taut skin, hair gone, the sunken eyes slit, frozen grimace, sharp white teeth bared. The largest carcass we had ever discovered, mummified, mysterious, unrecognizable, whole, more exciting than owl pellets or fish heads hidden in a tree stump by animals. Spring reveals the earth's dark face, peering from packed, melting snow. Life so dirty, rich, the crawly things shiny, the carcass matte, surprisingly weightless as we lifted it into the large orange Tupperware tub. Chihuahua, cat, raccoon, skunk, the most delicate treasure. We carried it carefully on our laps on bus 5 to school down Kings Highway. Bumps in the road memorized, we didn't let it bounce. The plastic sarcophagus proudly presented to the teacher. She didn't know what it was either. The kids all screwed up their faces and said, "Ew!" No one seemed to understand. We had discovered death and would keep it. We took it home and loved it for years, looking under the lid to marvel often, the silence of it, the fixed expression. The discovery was important. We used it to honor the questions we let go unanswered. Even after death, the body is capable of birth, delivering wonder through the material of time.
Oh, wow.
Thank you. I was excited just to read stuff randomly. It turns out every poem in the book is amazing. Seriously, I was so afraid because I actually hate myself that the book would come and I'd be like, oh my God, I suck, and I totally love it. I mean, I might feel differently tomorrow because human and hormones and stuff, but I am flying high. Every freaking poem is so amazing. It's gonna win an award. Okay, prize. It's not true that whoever dies with the most money wins. Bend at your knees so they can't look up your dress. Draw on fake eyebrows, feel gorgeous, they'll believe you. Repetition convinces everyone, religion proves it. Sneeze in the crook of your arm so you don't spread germs. All our grievances are connected. If you let your wild eyebrows connect and feel sexy, it is. Everyone knows a smoker who lived to 93 and a non-smoker who died young of cancer. You can't figure it out and nothing is fair. If you choose the Kaiser roll that's been sitting next to the donuts, it tastes like a donut. Paint doesn't fix things, it just makes them look better. Whitewash the hours with near misses and you hit the mark. Pain doesn't enhance things, it just makes them meaningful. The target is bigger than it looks. You're better than you think. The end is stuck to the beginning. It never helps to isolate them. All our loss is a consequence of our abundance. Whoever dies with the most tricks up their ripped apart sleeves, that's who wins. The prize is the game. No need to compete.
Oh,
Seriously, I love it. All right, one more?
sure.
All right. Let's see. All right, here's life during wartime, because we're fucking at war, people. I mean, what the hell? When the planet is on fire like this, we're really blow shit up? What is wrong? And there's more of us in the world that don't want it. How do we keep in this loop? Gosh, life during wartime. My grandmother couldn't afford stockings, marked a line up the back of her legs instead so it looked like she had them on. It was a mistake to dance with the black soldiers in port for the week at the big USO event. They were badly beaten afterward. How many acts of kind appreciation result in horror? My grandfather only wore long pants. A bayonet scar marked the length of the back of his leg. I caught glimpses of it a couple times. Whoever gave it to him was upholding something beloved too. He had stories, pugilist, tap dancer, motor pool, gardener, but he only told what he wanted to tell. He rarely answered my questions or elaborated on what interested me most, the scar, and how he slept warm enough in the ice house he protected at night for the family business. And were there pushcart wars and electric cars and farms uptown in New York City? Maybe humans shouldn't be saved. We should perish. Earth better off without us. A little drunk, but I remember paying the bartender. My head swarming with war stories. Who is the bad guy, according to whom? Stumbling onto the same streets as my grandparents 100 years ago. Life during wartime is always a war, always fighting, and more alcohol. There's no such thing as better off. Thank you. Oh, wow. Was this the other? Wow. Did they multiply?
Jane, thank you so much. I always love listening to you and watching you perform. It's always like a firecracker. You're like a firecracker. Always blowing shit up. Matt Proctor has the longest bio, by the way. So I'm sorry to bore you with it, but he's the host of Easy Paradise, open mic that's always there every Monday at KGB Red Room. Please come at 8:15 sharp. And his poetry reality show airs Mondays at 11 p.m. on Manhattan Public Access Television. And it was his birthday recently. Please welcome.
Thank you. Yes, Monday nights in New York, I've got it. I dominate Monday nights. I have the open mic and I'm on public access TV at 11 p.m. So.
All his work is one night.
Exactly. And then the other 6 days I just hibernate and sleep or not do anything. Okay, so I'm going to read some old pieces to kind of start things off, and then I'm going to read from my new book. So these are from probably 2016 or so. I just thought, why not, you know? Just a different kind of flavor to start things off. So this is called Platonic Synonym. Platonic Synonym. Guy rides by with his own radio station attached, calling me, moi, J, yo, together. I am what I am. How far is getting ahead of yourself? I've got 2 autobiographies running at once. I need less content in my content. Peaches like vortex, propane and propane accessories. Now is not the time to get back to orchestral kesterlings. I watch your final on the transportation bench as I'm in love with you for 5 seconds. Okay, this is called Walking Dictionary, which was my nickname in elementary school. They called me the Walking Dictionary because I knew what AM and PM was. Because I asked my dad, I didn't know what it meant actually. I asked my dad, he told me, I told them, and so they thought I was a genius. And they told me the Walking Dictionary. And I felt like that was appropriate. I do feel like the Walking Dictionary, weirdly. So this is called Walking Dictionary. Mainly we sleep. This is about my dad, kind of, and living as a child in the apartment that we lived in. Mainly we sleep. The TV's always a blowhard. You want a sandwich? Bologna's in the fridge. Help yourself. Chocolate milk and dill pickles. Dad's got a suicide pact with the world. 2012, they both died of his mind, the armchair of the world. We threw phone books out the side door of the cargo van when I was the smartest kid in the grade, or so they said, doing my homework in the coat closet 5 minutes before class. Head very wet from the shower. That was the beginning of me not caring. A trend I've kept up ever since my brain grew in the dark, lips drawn on themselves. I wanted to write a memoir in the 7th grade called The Rise and Fall of the Walking Dictionary. It was to be the story of my intellectual development as one of the gifted. Sewage belting at old dressers sunk in the toxic lagoon behind the electric plant. We explored the dead forests, leftover nature with David Evans, who explained sex to us, hiding in a bush beneath a loading dock. He huffed a pretend orgasm into the pinking scenery, said he had sex with his last girlfriend for 3 hours. He was 11. Being a kid is messed up. Kids need a ritual sacrifice around a debased tire full of leaves. Kids need to be buried alive in their tree houses when they fill the grove with wires and cement. Kids need lashing fireworks to sting their wrists with memory. Thank you. I was just trying to capture, childhood is such a confusing, filthy, you're dirt. I grew up in the 90s, we didn't have smartphones and all that. We had sticks. We went outside, we built forts with sticks.
VHS, videotape.
That's right, exactly. We had Super Nintendo. And it was good, it was enough for us. Okay, so this is from my collection that I put out in 2019, which is sort of like a new and selected at that time. It's only available from my European publishers. It's not available in this country. It was censored. It was censored in this country, on this continent. It's not even available on this continent. All right, so this is called Traumatic Printemps. I submitted this to a contest and it didn't even play, so so I'm gonna share it now. But I like it. And to me, it's another autobiography. It's all autobiography. Traumatic Printemps. Playing chutes and ladders with the delivery guy's kid as I wait for Chinese food. Youth is my wealth and I'm spending it slow. Tricking off the curb, sunburn glowing through my thin white t-shirt. I'd watch a TV show of just the backyard if they had one. Vines sprinting up the cobbled wall, the trees lengthening protest. First ever Halloween, I went as Peter Pan. Actually, it was a Robin Hood costume, but we were poor, and they're both leafy and egalitarian, and that's kind of who I am even still. Divine ignorer lying in bed, projecting movies on the ceiling, taking long essay walks as rain, dressed in a costume of rain. The mimes were in full silence, just listening to the devices. Subtle as apples, intentional paranoia, or the monkey bars when you're too tall. Persimmon remarks sat there, recording the approximate duration of the present moment, a night's stay in segmented pine. The box spilled a lake, and we only heard the footage of the words, grabby forest of them, legitimized in a printed edition of 150. The custom font installed was called Brandon Grotesque, which was only the most recent indication God's sadism is a form of acupuncture, pinpoint, and for our health. It's true, it's a true story. Brandon Grotesque. Brandon Grotesque. Truth is stranger than fiction. Okay, these are called do-si-dos. These are 2-line poems. multiple competing priorities. There's no such thing as unemployment. I was able to pursue my life as I recall it. The light creased to shine on any apparent object. Meeting your heroes. Encountering the anxiety of influence firsthand. Flowers always die. Poor dead flowers. Belly full of acorns. Deer are ruminators. Little pump needle. Resuscitate the basketball. Here among the disappeared figs, pathologically fearing money's attention. Wind bath the lotus to absolve winter mud fragments. Thank you. You don't have to clap. You know, I was coming here today, I was like, I'm going to read a bunch of poems that are not going to make anyone clap at all. I'm going to read all my stuff that it's impossible to clap at the end.
Sorry.
No, that's okay. I like clapping. I love it.
You can be like that guy that comes here, comes to the readings. He always says, clap only once at the end.
Oh, I love it. Thank you. Clap the whole time if you want. That's fine with me. Okay. So this is my new book. Thank you. Thank you for coming. Thank you, Leah, for having me. Thank you to Lily Christopher and Jane LeCroy for it's an honor to be reading. So I'm just going to read some pieces from my new book. This is War Commercial, and it's from the past 7 months, from July to the present. Which the wars just kind of came into the book, and so my poems are kind of commercials for life. That's what I want to say. My poems are commercials for life in a time of war. So that's why it's called War Commercials.
Thanks, Leafy Guy.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Of course. So we're here to fight the war of light. We're on this good side with our pacifism and our, thinking about everything, overthinking it all the time in entertaining ways. All right, so this is
Entertaining.
yeah, exactly. We'll call this Castle Rock. It was called Lime Ricky, but I crossed it out. So
Oh, the Lime Ricky.
so it's called Castle Rock Lime Ricky. But the Lime Ricky's has a line through it, just so you see that in your mind. Soon be pissed. Something born to last. Common vacuum down the wind. This place is a pigsty. Enclosed is a check for $500,000. Enough for Jim Belushi, aka Big Al, to lose on one throw of roulette. I could live for 20 years on $500,000. Wherever the lake is, we'll find it. Picasso's just go with the wine. This week went off the deep end. I took it like a man. So far, so good. It's when you break that something real happens.
Yeah.
Okay, this is called Commercials for Death. San Andreas flowers 1,000 miles an hour. One tiny person in the midst of others. Only 15 months of school left. I think that French guy messaged me from Jane Hotel, my favorite club, which they turned private. Old maritime hostels converted into luxury ecocide suites. Lost my green flannel there, swept up with the glitterati into Brock's party. A who's who gift that jump-started my post-pandemic. Give back life, otherwise ads in the subway is something they'll never sell. Anti-marketing, self-production. I always write a poem on my birthday. It's the easiest day to give to yourself. I need to go out for a pack of smokes. Can you get me a headline? The Blur versus Oasis rivalry is entirely about class. Gallagher brothers being working, Blur little more posh middle. Oh, are you an Oasis guy? Yeah, I always was. I'm gonna wait this guy, all right? I'm gonna go on the record. This is called pulchritude. Pulchritude, which I think means beauty. I hope it means beauty.
It does.
It does.
I
okay.
thought you knew that. That's
I
why you
looked it
put
up, but then I forgot.
You put on your Instagram like note.
Yeah.
What happened to Dictionary Boy, huh?
It's all
Google happened.
Oh wait,
It's all-
your like story that was like the rise and fall. So now it makes sense.
Yes, exactly.
The fall, yeah, it happened when I was 10 years old, and now I've been doing, I'm just getting,
Technology.
I peaked when I was 8. That was a walking dictionary. Now look at me. Now what am I?
Matt, that was my line.
Oh, in the bookstore.
Yeah, I'm a open mic host. Open mic.
Webster.com.
Yeah, and now I don't even know what pulchritude means, so clearly I failed. All right, so this is pulchritude, so you guys know. We only have so many faces in our pockets. Shipping thunder from Arizona, I'm sorry to abandon your tan lines. Walk in the streets live, Carl Theodore Dreiser, not totally sure yet. Tiki High, Band Donor Am. Federal Prison, Yankee Hat Corridor. Faces and names, trying on outfits before we go flying. Trade winds to Francis Albacore show. Nervous system was shot, selling candy. He's gonna be so mad to teach. I am not a violent person. I would turn my back on any fight. A step in the right direction looks the part every time. Running out of water 7 times to break it. Stacy Keach halves my job. Dispense Troy for salacious crumb in the eel garden. Seabed gravel takes time to know her. Zone construction alternates time. Time to get a watch. Clean as a whistle, fit as a fiddle. Right as rain and ripe for the plucking. There was only one in school and they all came here or sell real estate. Coughing in front of me on commuter rail. AirPods recharging in their case. Recovering stripes of a sky of Cheshire dusk. My favorite kinds of cheese all arrayed on the table. The old New York came down with the towers and a new one rolled out in chrome. How I Met Your Mother, the television novel of an Isle city in finance and romance. Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man and Jordan Belson and Barney Stinson. It's not my version, according to Jim, when I could have been getting laid by a team of doctors in Lamb Rehab. It was the most 1970s thing I could think of to do. Watching sitcoms in the daylight, needing a more direct route into the heart of the people, learning all the wrong lessons, a typical night for the olds, learning to live without him forever. I need some space, I need some fresh air, a violent constant demand, 7 continents of vocabulary. I speak all their languages. I got the riz, everything hurts but my wound. I'll just do maybe 2 more, I guess. This is called fettuccine alfredo, which was my favorite food as a child. I had knuckles on. I get accurate and then I leave. Wendy's never freezes their patties. Like Boyhood, only better. Take it to her Far Venus instant weekend store, Christopher and Polly and the Pine Barrens across the bridge in the night. I failed journalism twice. But I also wrote one of the best articles to ever appear in the high school newspaper, according to Mr. Richards. But if you want to read me, you have to buy my books. The Banana Record is a great big nothing burger. It makes it so much easier for the listener. I got kicked out of Sing Sing on an incoming call, noting all week the documentary. My financial advisor smells like White Castle. Motivating prostate selfie outside Taylor's Loft, Broom Street Bar, the Roxy, or Beach Street. Becathedering probation cancer. The surgery gets put on hold. Ace Frehley's sister clearing her nostrils. Saturday night cats on the loose. Nobody helping me over the wall, blocking 8th near MSG. Writing is what I know. Learned by osmosis in a laurel of volumes in proximity to the very best. Paint spatter on my Wrangler acid wash. They got married in the same heart-shaped spotlight box of chocolates. She's equipped to Queen Bee, praying from my face. They pray together all the time, having duck goose for dinner, sanding down the edges. Male ego disguising the situation as sky trim. Nature's not misogynist, we are. Computer Manhattan walking distance to a pram. My sister is the president of the Barnard Zine Club. In a valedictory time, maladroits haven't any tongs. Living at the Bromley with my dogs. Very surprised that they signed up. My dog was attached at the leg today to another dog. The dog was often Fam, like Dreams, sung by Hagar Slacks. I can send you the video. And I have books. If anybody wants some books, I carry these zines. I publish these zines. They're my Cosmopolitan micro diaries. I serialize my notebooks and I publish them on my laser printer that I got with pandemic money. And come out to the open mic if you want. It's every Monday. We would love to have you. And I think some people are coming, so thank you. And thank you all. It's great to be here. All right. So this is called Autobiopic. Autobiopic. Tarragon Bemelmans, Panache, Morning Joe Scarborough in a hurry. Steak tartare science from Italy, merch your ass up. No photographs permitted inside the restaurant. The other day I'd like to go to a Broadway show, reading the letters of John Wieners near Chelsea Square. Fog Goat ice cream cake is my favorite kind of cake. There are tomatoes of winter come March. But marrying the Ketchups is not as romantic as it sounds. Quantum mids, I give it to me, myself, and I. Middle child syndrome, 2 feet under. Uber eats me the ice cream cake. Uber eats me the ice cream cake. Committing a faux pas in the citric room. This guy on the train stole the sleeper next to him's phone out of his hoodie. I watched in the glass but said nothing. No one was on board with the Weezer cruise but us, extending my lifespan by mastering space and shacking up. Pursue obscurity and peace? Allow me.
Oh, wow.
Thank you, man. That was great. Wow. So MCP3 is here. She's going to perform for us. I'm so excited. It's been a while. Yeah. Come on.
Like telling them about the future.
The future. Well, the present and the future.
Future's now.
Thank you for coming in.
Thank you.
Woo! Do you need this one?
I'm gonna play cowboy style. Yeah. Hey,
My culture is not your costume.
I'm from Texas. Okay. Perfect. I am serious. Well, it's a little joke. I'm never that serious, you know.
I'm MCP.mp3, it's a little joke, you know, because I'm a musician and a writer, and being in spaces like this really remind me that I'm a writer too and a poet. I just put it to music. Thank you. I was also talking to somebody today who were like fashion mutuals on the internet, you know, and he was like, man, you know, I do so many different kinds of art, but never the music, and I don't, like, how do you come up with stuff? And I like that, I don't know, man. Like a lot of different ways the music comes to me and the stories come to me. But a lot of times it feels like sculpting, like I kind of just follow, like it's almost like it's already there and I'm just trying to find it, you know? Anyway, this is a song that I remember finding, and actually Elliot, who's my friend who does not live in New York, he's visiting, and he was there during very early stages of this song. So it's called She Is the Road. I grew up in central New Jersey. I wrote this on the West Coast, dreaming about the East Coast. The road is a woman called I-95. She's endless and warm and I know she's alive. The road has no barriers, she begs me to drive, and I know she'll wait patiently till I arrive. My mirror stays foggy, I don't want to see the outline of someone I think I should be. The outline is someone who says I should stay off the road, so I exit and I drive away. Oh, he lives in my head, and his world is so small, and I call him a king, but a king's bound to fall. I know what he'll tell me, it's always the same. He tells me I'm lonely, he tells me I'm lame. He says that I'll never feel safe in my home until I get rid of everything I've ever known. You'll never be happy, he says with a yawn, till you've got someone's home and you're mowing their lawn with somebody's children and somebody's wife in some other somewhere in some other life. Oh, the king in my head makes the world seem so small, but the king in my head, he knows nothing at all. My life is simple, but not very fun. I like to start fires through wires I've run. I'll put down the pliers if I think she's the one, then I go and I throw my heart into the sun. Why do I like starting fires for fun? Why try rewire these wires I've run? I stare at the walls that I built with my hands, a home off the road by the sea on the sand. Oh, the king in my head has a mouth full of lies. The king cares not about the tears flooding my eyes. Everyone always laughs at that. I'm crying. Nobody guides me down nobody's road, in nobody's nowhere with no one to hold. The road has no barriers, so the road sets me free, and I feel like somebody that used to be me. I don't want to miss her, but I miss her so. She showed me what life is and how to let go. She teaches me volumes and virtues. She sees the outline of someone I think I could be. Oh, the king had his day, but the king's got to go, for the road is my lover and she is the road. Oh, I know who I am, and I feel so alive when I'm out with my woman, the I-95. Thank you. Thank you. Love that one. I haven't recorded it yet, but I really would like to. This is another song that gets me in my feelings. I wrote this about something that happened to me when I was a little kid. It's called the ornamental plum tree. And when I was a kid, there was an ornamental plum tree growing outside of my window. Ornamental fruit trees don't usually bear fruit, and plums, they have purple leaves, so that's their thing. That's why they've been genetically modified to not bear fruit, so that it doesn't get sticky, Anyway, they don't bear fruit, and I loved plums when I was a little kid, and I always knew that there was this like fake plum tree growing out my window. It didn't make any sense. But one day I look out and there were little plums on it, and so I go to my mom, and I'm like, "Wow, there's plums on the plum tree," and she was like, "Oh yeah, it's dying. It's dying. It has bugs. It's infested, and we're gonna have to cut it down." I was like. But I learned a lesson. I learned like why. Did anyone have an idea as to why that might happen? Why a tree that doesn't normally bear fruit might bear fruit on its way out? Yeah, the fruit will drop to the ground, maybe grow a new tree, maybe an animal will eat it and drop it somewhere else. So I learned a little lesson, but it was really sad. And now I sing this song to kids. They're like, "We want to hear the dead tree song." Boom, boom, boom. This is as important as the words. The tall purple beauty that lived in the yard got sick and was starting to die. And in a brave act of sheer desperation and programming built to survive, well, the tree bore the fruit that would fall to the ground and the seeds that would settle below. They gave hope to the tree and to you and to me that the tree could continue to grow. Oh, life leads to more life, love leads to more love, hope leads to more hope, the road leads to you. On the road may be winding, the way never certain, but I trust in the journey, for the journey is you. Now the tree was a plum of the ornamental variety, and inside of me I felt a deep understanding of the tree's situation and these awful thoughts in my head. For I knew I was the tree, and the tree, she was me, and we do what we will to survive. And though I was a child when I tasted the fruit of the plum, I was grateful for life. Oh, life leads to more life, love leads to more love, hope leads to more hope, the road leads to you. The road may be winding, the way never certain, but I trust in the journey, for the journey is you. Life leads to more life, love leads to more love, hope leads to more hope, the road leads to you. The road may be winding, the weather uncertain, but I trust in the journey, for the journey is you. I trust in the journey is you. I trust in the journey is you. I trust in the journey, for it must lead to you. Thank you. And thank you. I love that song. It also made me think of like, I'm currently not a danger to myself or others, but it definitely made me think about like suicidal ideations and stuff. That's why this tree's making me think about like all these things I want to do because I feel like I don't have much life left, we do different things when we feel scared of death or when we know death is around, because frankly it always is, but sometimes we just aren't thinking about it. And the trees don't either, you know? The trees don't think about it. They just do what they gotta do to keep things moving. And my therapist once told me, you know, at the end of the day, nature's done everything that it needs to do. You know, it doesn't think about it. Anyway, this last one, I'm still writing, I'm still working on this one. It's very fresh. I've been kind of using it to sort through this situation with this ex-lover who just like kind of wouldn't leave me alone. I've sung some songs about him here before. Yeah, right now it's called Wailing Out the Window. It's a fine, fine line between lending you a hand and taking up my time. You walk the fine, fine line. I'm gonna have to go. There's someone on the other line, but I know you're wailing out the window. I know you're crying on the floor, but you know you left me so empty. I don't think that I won't show you the door. Wailing out the window, crying on the floor. You know, you left me so empty. That's why you got to leave my home. You got a brand new life, a couple cars in the yard. Remember when you crashed mine? Feels like another life when you slept in my bed and you messed with my mind. But I know you're so unhappy. I know that you don't want to be alone. But you know that you left me so empty. That's why you got to leave my home. I know your daddy's so angry. I know that his daddy was too. But you know that I know that's not my problem, and the rest is up to you. Wailing out the window, crying on the floor. You know you left me so empty. Don't think that I'm gonna show you the door. Oh, I'm wailing out the window. Oh, I'm crying on the floor. You know, you left me so empty. That's why we don't talk anymore. Thank you. MCP stands for Miranda Contreras Peterson. My dad's Colombian, my mom's from Oklahoma. And you can find my music under MCP, mcp.mp3. I'm all over. I've been busking the past couple days. Actually, on my walk here, somebody who worked at the Whole Foods was stepping out. He's like, "Hey, I saw you." I just reposted him like right before I left the house. I was like, "Are you Frank?" He's like, "Yeah." I read it on his name tag. All right, thanks, Leah. Thanks for sharing. This is awesome. Sound.
What is that?
I always enjoy you and your music so much. Thank you so much. I found you.
Oh yeah.
Oh no! I saw you at Easy Paradise.
Oh totally.
Yes.
Well,
See, it's so nice. This is what I'm talking about.
it's the best of
Linda. Hi, welcome. I'm looking forward. Please come on down.
Everybody, I'm gonna let the come charge, and I'm just gonna read the first couple of poems, and I put the book together to tell a story. So if you read the book from beginning to end, and you feel like there's a story, then I do my job. All right. And thank you, Leah, for this great night. It's been so much fun. First poem is called Canvas Blank. What we remember begins with the paint and the brushes we choose. Acrylics, watercolors, all different. Some are thick-skinned, others fragile. Days go by and portraits emerge. What you thought was invisible now requires touch. What you thought you could accomplish now requires rain. Time passes. If able to start over, how would this river run? You sew clothing from candle wicks, light up your creation, and paint it while it burns. The next one is an abecedarian called Markings on the Wall. Astronomical charts, born under a moonless sky, cosmos ignited the pyre. Daddy said it was so hot Earth could have been on fire. Funny how we let ghosts of childhood hide out in bedroom closets. Imagination carried us to Jupiter and beyond, but we kept looking over our shoulders. Mark time on the moon before night rolls to dawn. Oxygen in our blood, purple galaxies and meteorites our thirst. Revolving on this planet, synchronicity brings us together in one universe, tilting this decks of harmony. Weekend warrior extracting xenon from the night sky. Your lantern is fueled by yellow zinnia flowers. Next poem is called Visibility Unclear. You wake up blurry, count your blessings, saunter around the kitchen, grind beans, try to avoid tripping over cats. Imagination tumbleweeds, focus on coffee, toast. Restless, your mind spins intrigue that forms fissures of logic. Luxury or torture, redemption or betrayal, this solitude leads to your void. Next one is called Chores, and it's after a poet I love, named Louise Glick. Chores. It's not the rain, I know it. It's these birds that make that noise. I hear them. That noise does not cease, like your expectations of me, always wanting more. That noise, as I go through the motions on that old bed of ours, in your head, it is your laundry I do tonight. The heavy load, shoving your soiled garments into the machine, watching your gyrations, your spin cycle. Oh, those damn birds, their caw, caw, caw. How can I compose myself in this clamoring silence? This is called Be My Garden. I need to cleanse myself, dig myself into the dirt, sleep with daffodil bulbs, breathe earth. I remember where last season's tomatoes grew, where the strawberry patch sent its runners through the hot peppers and the eggplants. I need to feel you again, to know you like I know the dirt in my garden. I'll rake last season's leaves from you, fertilize you, rejuvenate you. I want to introduce you to the praying mantis and the ladybugs so they can defend you from parasites. I want you soil ready so I can dig my hands in deep, plant a fragile seedling, water it, and watch it grow. Thank you. This is called It Lives in the Basement. Loneliness crept up the stairs, stood in a corner, observed the situation, searched for the easiest to infiltrate, curled around her unknown, smoke unseen, loneliness holds her tight. She thinks its warmth is comforting. Quickly, she's left abandoned, alone, trying to make snow angels at midnight. And I'll read one more. This is called Art. It was art, abstract and alcohol-fueled, liquid paint-splattered, graffiti-covered and dangerous. Surreal, savage beauty of Alexander McQueen, spray paint guns aimed at a white dress. Fragile, an evening gown made of peonies and roses disintegrating. You said, don't write about life, write about art. Was it not art? The finger painting of my hair, the pigment of your eyes, the sculpture of my thigh. You said, don't write about life, write about art. Was it not art? My solo performance when you left me nude in the gallery, covered in snow. Thank you, everybody.
Moed.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Hard act to follow. Everyone's a hard act to follow. You got this. This is from High Speed Mess Called Life. Afterwards, in a Florida motel room. Falling between two single beds with a heart-on, he says something really corny, and I think, I should write that down, because he's a poem I might have to forget. Deep holes closing. We can't have sex right now. We both decided not to have the baby. I guarantee she will never grow broken into her heart like we did. Still, I can't sleep, so I watch this boy poem slumber. Soon, he will rise in Florida morning light, his fierce love hammering at the Berlin Wall I made from grief and the right decision. And with sweet milk and coffee, he will promise there is no end to this poem. And this is from the new book. It was for New York, and it's just out. Woo! Yeah, it's absolutely fucking out. So I don't know if you can see it. Jaime. He was already living across the hall from us the day we moved in 1961. He never spoke to us kids never spoke to him, but we knew to be respectful and silent as he came and went. When Florence, the concert pianist who accidentally gave birth to me, got sick 50 years later, I bumped into him more. We started giving each other a slight nod at some point, but mostly it was still that Lower East Side gaze from the corner of our eye, letting the person know, I see you, I still don't talk to you. I was spending yet another sunny day unburying her life from all the papers she kept. Hit a wall, took a break, got a cafe con leche from the Dominican place that used to be the Giorgiani Brother Market. I needed to cry, and caffeine makes it go faster. There he was, pushing his big shopping cart full of laundry to the lobby door. He pointed to a newly death notice taped to the building, and then, for the first time, after not a word, not a single word in 50 years, we talked. Hannah's brother? He asked. No, it was she on the third floor who died. How old? Late 70s, because he was younger than Florence. 70s, that's young. I'm 91. And then, after 50 years, and after our very first words, I finally met Jaime. He takes good care of himself. Sure, his nephew out on Long Island keeps an eye on him. And sure, the vet administration gives him home aids. But what for? He's got Lifeline. Just like having a person there, he says. Still, the VA has been very, very good to him. Full disability. World War II? Yeah, I got captured in France. Was a POW in Germany, Stalag 11B. After the war, all the guys used to get together. He doesn't go to the reunions, though, anymore. Most of them have checked out, he said. I reached down to help him get his cart up the 5 scattered steps to the lobby door, the same steps we needed 2 of the maintenance guys to get Florence in and out of the building. Nah, I got a system. I'm still pretty strong. And before I knew it, he bumped the big shopping cart up with each step. The blonde mommy and the blonde little boy dressed as Robin Hood were coming out of the building. When I was growing up, I could count on 3 fingers all the blonde people in the entire neighborhood. Now, it was normal. Seeing the kid, Jaime lit up like a Ferris wheel at night. What you got there, huh? And then in the time-honored Lower East Side act of loving kids, he pulled out a $1 bill, nickel in my day, and stuffed it into the little boy's hand. Here, for Halloween. The mommy turned to her son. What do you say? Thank you, Robin answered promptly. And then he and Jaime grinned at each other before the kid and the mommy headed off to Sherwood Forest or maybe the Avenue A bus. Jaime turned back to me. I'm going on a cruise. The nephew on Long Island taking you someplace warm, I asked? Nah. A mischievous twinkle in his eyes. Guess where? Europe! I'm flying into Rome and then taking a cruise all over Europe. Athens. With your nephew? Nah, by myself. I looked so shocked. He got this grin and I could see the young soldier who had grit and guts and verve and survived a POW camp. People see an old man, they're very helpful, he said with a shrug, but still with that wicked smile. I told the travel people, don't give me no 6 months from now deal because I don't know if I'm going to be around. Give me something now. Both of us waited for the old elevator, the day swirling around me with sun and cafe con leche and piles of paper and death notices and scattered steps and little boys in Robin Hood outfits and dollar bills appearing out of nowhere, and a person's life I had lived next to for years and years and years, and finally got to meet. The elevator door arrived. The old doors took their time opening. I gotta do this. This trip is my last hurrah. Then I'll go quietly, Jaime said. And with that, he dumped his big cart of laundry into the elevator. Thank you.
Yeah.
Come on down.
Hi, so I'm going to read 3 poems that I have in the 8th edition of the zine called Unresolved. And you guys can get it on Bandcamp. It's called Unresolved Zine. And it looks really cool. This is what the layout looks like. This one is called Moed. We are neither winners or saints. A man without a face spreads his arms like a dove inside an empty taqueria. It's raining and NyQuil helps me remember my dreams. I don't think the candle belongs on the board game. It belongs on Lou Reed or perhaps Andy Warhol. Spiral thinks he looks embalmed hanging on the wall. And I hear pillars dampen the smell of decomposition. I'm his soldier child of ecstatic consciousness, subdued joy. I'm no corn dog. Am I a liar if I enjoy lying? I'm Andy Warhol and I need a house. I found a house, but I can't reclaim the past. The books smell like incense. This one is called Pleasant Street. We ate dinner at 5 p.m. and traded snowflake blisters. Mine looked like a triceratops. Threw nickels by the limestone quarry at Budweiser's on the rails. Talked about old dogs and the way they bite slowly, hesitant, then all blood lost remorse. I crushed Lucky's on wailing grass, licked the ice, tasted chlorinated, saw a line on the face of a trash can and a baby on a pinwheel. Looked for a job at the bowling alley, found a flood at the bottom of a saddle shoe. And this one is called Self-Portrait on Rue Bernard. Sunday best at the Dollarama. I trace my footsteps based on the feather boas I see. I started having linear dreams in Montreal. I only know the word Quebecois from the person who punched me on the shoulder in the shared parking lot of a Dollar Tree and the local cinema back in Bennington, Vermont. I booked a ticket knowing my death would come in cherry dum-dum wrappers and high gas prices. I use an Ampleman umbrella to stay dry. It's borrowed. The faux brownstones watch my leather coat and leather docks. I entered the toy store. The man at the counter claims he's all out of duckies. I want Lucky's, but I lost 2 cigarette packs in a month, so I quit. Would you like a dolphin instead? A set of twins cross the street in gray school uniforms. One is taller than the other. One's socks are shorter. I don't buy anything, but a mental breakdown on aisle 2, in between a finger puppet and a pregnancy test. I watched the cars in between the toy shop and the Dollarama. They take their time. I want a heavy bus to hurry past. Thank you.
So thank you, everybody. We have to actually get out of here. So till next time, thank you everyone for storming the storms outside. Thank you, PNC Knitwear, for staying late. I'm very grateful.
There it is. We did it. There it is.